One of the things I miss in modern computerized Bible production is how creatively the publishing houses used to use different layouts. A perfect example of this is the Scofield Reference Bible, of which today we're going to look through a stack of them and see how this layout was used in different ways. First up, we have a pocket Scofield Reference Bible. It's smaller than my hand, and it has got a canvas cover. The inscription dates it to Easter 1964, and the pages have a very lovely blue underneath the gold gilding. The print is quite small, and I'll zoom in for your sake, but as we see, it is a standard Scofield Reference Bible. It is a facsimile series number 3 and is listed as a pocket edition. Of note, there is no concordance at the back, but there is an index to the atlas. This would have been for size considerations. Next up, we have what seems to be a cameo-sized Scofield Reference Bible from Oxford. It has a leather case, but it is on card, as you can see by the slight buckling of the leather. So this was a cheaper edition. You can see the age of the paper. It is a minion, sorry, not a cameo, and it is a Scofield Reference Facsimile Series number 1. It has a lovely red under the gilding, and the pages are very thin. They do not feel like India paper, but they're very readable under this light, and as we can see, they have yellowed slightly from age. Because of its size, as we saw, does it have a concordance? No, it doesn't. So this is in fact very thick paper, but there is no concordance. Perish to think how wide it would be with the concordance. Next up, we have one I picked up recently, which is a New Testament and Psalms Scofield References. This is a similar cover to the previous, although it does feel the leather to be a nicer, thicker quality. It still has paper for the liner. It doesn't mention which facsimile series it is, but judging by its size, I would say it is this series 1, which we had previously. The contents page they have redone from scratch. Minion, same as the other, but you'll notice the Bible introduction is missing. We go straight to the 4 Gospels article, page on how to use the subject references, and you'll notice how our pagination is starting at 992, 989 for the start of the article. It's printed in the USA, and you'll notice as we turn to the Psalms, 632. So they created this New Testament edition without repaginating and without adding, let us check, an index. Not at all. No index, no maps, no concordance. Just the basics, as if they'd taken the bundles straight out of a Scofield Bible and rebound it. Next we have another canvas case Bible. This is a bit more hard wearing, although we can see the wearing there. I'll zoom in on the detail for your sake and you'll see how these age with use. Still holds together perfectly, just has a bit of wear. This is also a Minion Facsimile Series number 1. The paper is the same as what we felt in the other edition. So the other edition is clearly the leather-bound version of this. There is a map, there's an index to the map, but no concordance. And they're all the Scofield notes and layouts we all know. Next comes my favourite. Now this, although thinner than the rest, has a concordance. It has a nicer leather cover that's very thick feeling leather. I'm not an expert as to what sort of leather it be, but there's a bit of firmness and it just feels great. But the paper, we have the red gilding, but this feels like India paper. It is brilliant. And in fact, it says Minion, India paper, facsimile series number 1. So the same layout as we've seen in the previous 4 Bibles, but India paper, which meant that we can have a much thinner Bible, so thin we can include a concordance. I'm giving most of these Bibles to the local Christian secondhand bookstore, but I think I'll hang on to this one because of its features, its leather, and its excellent paper. Next is a hardcover. You can see the aging of the cover and how time has affected it, but it has held together very well. The inscription is 1947, and we can see this is a Scofield facsimile series number 2, a brevier. I love the size of this. This is very readable. It's a nice large print, and it is for all intents and purposes a very cleanly magnified version of the previous Bibles we have looked at. In the time before computers, publishers were, quite frankly, amazing at how they used to do these different editions, all with the same layout. Some staining, but that's okay. And we go straight to Revelation, index, and maps, no concordance. Nice, thick size of a large novel. Finally, the other one I'm going to keep. This was a gift from a fellow Gideon of mine who passed away last year. And this is a Scofield Reference Bible, which is loose leaf. You pull that mechanism, you'll notice the rubbing there. We pull it down, and then that now loosens that. We can pull that up and change the pages. One day I'll show you how to do that. Ash Hound was the owner, and he was in the Open Brethren, and he left all of his sermon notes bound into the Bible. This is truly a special Bible to me, as Ash was an amazing Christian, a beloved brother in the Lord. Memento of Billy Graham going on his crusade at Carlaw Park, and his various notes. Now this is the biggest, and if we look on the page, it's a Scofield facsimile series number 2, brevier. I'll just compare page sizes, and we will see, even though these are both number 2s, yes they are both brevier number 2s, the page size in this bound edition is much larger, and that meant that Ash had all the room he needed to not only write notes in the columns around the edges, but to include his own notes in between, which were either handwritten or typed. The Bible came with a section of lined paper at the beginning, and I'll see if I can find an example of that there. That's the original paper which came with the Bible for writing on. You could buy additional packs of these, but Ash obviously didn't, and just took plain paper and cut it to shape. So, I hope this was an interesting presentation for you. I certainly enjoy finding different Bibles like this, and most of all, after I've bought them, looked at them, I try and give them away. See you later.